Happy New Year, and welcome to another episode of the webinar series where we talk about hyperpigmentation. Now, often when we think about hyperpigmentation, we think dark spots on the surface, we think it's more cosmetic, which for the most part could be true, but sometimes the what shows up on the surface is just the tip of the iceberg. So today I want to take some time to explore what is happening underneath the surface. What is the cause of hyperpigmentation? What is the cause of that dark spot that you see on your skin? And why it is not safe to just think of this as, oh, it's cosmetic. I'm going to put something, I'm going to lighten my skin and make it go away. More often than not, there is a deeper reason for why this is showing up on your skin and over again, especially sometimes when it's really tough and that um, ex- you cannot remove it in any form. So let's explore some of the different reasons why this could happen. Now, I want to kickstart uh, before we go into it, I want to kickstart this with a little bit of a personal anecdote that I have. I knew of a patient once who was on the Fitzpatrick scale. Her skin tone was on 4. Fitzpatrick scale goes from 1 through 6, 1 being the lightest skin tone, 6 being the darkest skin tone. So she was somewhere in the middle. Now, for the most part, she was healthy. She had no issues, no diabetes, no blood pressure, none of those things, and it was um, what she started to notice was these dark spots on her skin, which started as small spots, but then became more patchy, like dark, bigger patches on her cheeks and chin. And it was unclear what was going on. And so for a long time, she figured maybe she had exposed herself too much to the sun. Maybe it was hormonal, maybe it was menopausal, and a lot of those different things that we keep thinking about when we think of dark spots. It was a while before we she realized that it was because of her glucose metabolism. Now, mind you, she had no diabetes, but there was a an issue with her pancreas, and so her body had developed this sort of insulin resistance because her pancreas was not uh, functioning very well, and this was leading to this formation of dark spots on her skin. Now, the prognosis was not very good, but what we learned from this story was that skin tone, dark spots on your skin is can be sometimes a messenger of what's happening internally in your body. So it's very important not to ignore it and to really understand what could be the root cause behind what's causing your dark spots. Now, it could be multiple reasons, and we can explore all of those reasons today. In order to understand what is the root cause of your hyperpigmentation, it's important to understand how your body actually functions. Now, we're all born with DNA. You inherit it from your parents, and there are it is a blueprint for your body, right? Think of it as a recipe book. It has all the recipes that your body needs, and what the dish that gets made from these recipe books are the proteins. Proteins are the workhorses in your body. Those are really the elements in your blood that's making your body work the way it is. Whether it is cold outside, whether it's hot outside, your body still needs to be functioning, and what keeps it going are these proteins. Now, we've all heard of hormones. Now, hormones are part of the protein family. It's a small part of the protein family that basically is something that is known to cause a few different forms of hyperpigmentation. Now, hormones are key elements in certain endocrinal disorders. Your endocrine system is run by your hormones. So it's important to understand what aspect of your hyperpigmentation is hormonal, and if hormonal, where is it coming from? Which organ is it coming from? And so, in order to understand that, we let's explore a few different components, right? We need to understand what are the different pigments in your skin and what is their role in your skin. Now, we have all heard of melanin. Melanin is the brown pigment. Now, brown is a simplistic term for melanin because it can range all the way from a light yellow, golden brown to a dark brown, almost chocolatey brown. Now, it's important to understand that there are different forms of melanin. We all have melanin. Now, there's another pigment called carotene, which adds a different sort of hue to your skin. Now, you may have heard of people who have sort of olive undertones or golden undertones, and some of these undertones are coming from these different pigments in your skin. It's a form of melanin, and there are these supplementary pigments like carotene that add this different tinge of color to your skin. And then the third component that adds color to your skin is hemoglobin. Hemoglobin is a part in your blood that binds to oxygen when you breathe and helps take that oxygen to different parts of your body. Now, oxyhemoglobin, that is the form of hemoglobin when oxygen is bound to the hemoglobin, is what gives you that healthy flush in your cheeks when you're running and you're getting a lot, you're breathing heavy and you're taking in a lot of oxygen. This can cause oxyhemoglobin to show up on your skin, causing that rosy tinge. Sometimes we think of this as a sign of health, which it is. And so these are the different pigments in your skin. And based on what is happening internally in your body, these pigments show up in different concentrations and can sometimes be localized in certain areas that can cause discoloration, or what we call as discoloration. Now, especially when you have more systemic disorders, particularly your endocrine system or your metabolic system, they can influence melanin synthesis that leads to hyperpigmentation and in some cases hypopigmentation. So first off, let's talk about pigmentary changes that are happening because of endocrine disorders. Now, endocrine disorders are really tricky to understand. You have your thyroid disorders. You could also have diabetes, which is a form of endocrine disorder too. Now, the root cause could be different, but the manifestation on your skin is somewhat similar. So you need to understand what is going on inside your body to unfold before you can unfold what's showing up on your surface of your skin. But in spite of that, your skin is the first indicator of what's going on inside. The minute you start to see some changes with your complexion, with the texture of your skin, there is an underlying cause, and you need to get to that cause before you can start to treat it for what it is. So let's discuss a couple of thyroid disorders first. The most common one that we see, especially with people on the Fitzpatrick scale of 4, 5, and 6, where Fitzpatrick scale is a range scale that goes from 1 through 6, 1, 2, and 3 being the lighter skin tones, and 4, 5, and 6 going on along the side of darker skin tones. When you think about acanthosis nigricans, which is a very commonly known hyperpigmented skin, especially for people in the Fitzpatrick scale between 4 through 6. This appears as dark velvety patches in your body folds and creases. Most commonly, it's seen on the neck and armpits. And this is a sign of a thyroid disorder. Now, there is also something called vitiligo. Now, vitiligo is more popularly seen in as patches of skin losing its pigment. You would have seen people with patches of skin that has been discolored, and it's often seen in conjunction with thyroid issues. A third more common component that we see is melasma. Now, melasma is an interesting case because sometimes it shows up in people who have been who are pregnant, and pregnancy-induced melasma, which is also hormonal, often goes away after the birth of the child. Your skin clears up. In some cases, perimenopausal, premenopausal, or menopausal women who have some hormonal imbalances also show melasma. Now, melasma is characterized by brown or gray-brown patches typically on your face. And this is usually linked to thyroid imbalances. And by solving for that internally will help you clear up your skin. Now, cosmetic solutions will help, of course, to lighten the load of your pigmentation, but of course, it's going to keep coming back till you understand the root cause and get to that. Now, the last one is the skin pallor. Skin pallor is trickier if you have an untrained eye. And this is generally a lightening of your skin or loss of skin color. And this happens mostly because of reduced blood flow or decreased melanin in your skin. And more often than not, your physician or your dermatologist can typically pinpoint to skin pallor better than you can. So that's under the umbrella of thyroid imbalances. The next thing we have is diabetes. Now, diabetes also sees acanthosis nigricans. Now, this is especially more pronounced in type 2 diabetes because of insulin resistance. We also see carotenemia, which manifests as a yellow-orange discoloration in the palms, soles, and your nasolabial folds. So these two are sort of an indication of hyperpigmentation in your skin that has their root cause in diabetes. So it's very important to keep track of when you look at your facial skin to really observe where hyperpigmentation is happening and what is the color that's showing up outside of just dark spots. Now, there's also different kinds of pigmentation that come from adrenal disorders, and these usually are in sun-exposed areas, scars and pressure points like your elbows and your knees. And it's important to address these as well because in some cases, what's happening is really this is an autoimmune condition where there's a destruction of your melanocytes, which is leading to patchy skin depigmentation. In some cases, it could also be polycystic ovarian syndrome, which again is a hormonal imbalance. And it's important to note that PCOS or polycystic ovarian syndrome brings with itself acne, it brings it with itself discoloration or hyperpigmentation, all because of an underlying insulin resistance that your body goes through while in this condition. So why is insulin resistance such a big deal, and how does it really cause this impact on your skin? That's a question that's really important to answer and understand what it means for glucose metabolism and what is its impact on your skin. Now, when you think about skin dark spots, we've talked about dark spots, we've talked about patches of hyperpigmentation, we've talked about depigmentation in case of vitiligo. There's also another form, which are age spots. Now, these are also called liver spots sometimes and are flat brown spots that develop on the skin due to prolonged exposure to UV radiation or other light sources. Now, this is more common in people with diabetes or insulin resistance. What is happening here is that when you have high blood sugar levels, this leads to a process called glycation, where the sugar attaches to proteins in your blood and form harmful new molecules called advanced glycation end products, or AGE. Now, these AGE products, they accumulate in your skin. When they accumulate in your skin, they partner with collagen and elastin and break them down, causing what is called a sugar sag, which leads to your skin sagging, but in some cases also leads to formation of age spots, because with high concentration of sugar in your blood, the concentration of age products go up that get accumulated in your skin. So sugar has a twofold effect on your skin. One is that it can cause these age spots, and two, it causes the sugar sag by breaking down collagen. So it's very important to understand what your nutrition levels look like today. What is your diet that you're following, and how is that impacting the insulin levels in your blood? Because you want your sugar metabolism to be as healthy as possible for you. Now, these are the more commonly seen impact of metabolism and endocrine system on your skin. There are some lesser known or lesser found conditions with metabolism. First one is renal or your kidneys, where this can cause a form of hyperpigmentation that causes a darkening of skin, particularly in sun-exposed areas. Now, the important thing here with renal failure is that we also see changes in your nails. So when you start to see a distinct color change halfway across your nails on your bed, that's a sign of something happening in your kidneys. Another common or less common note that we see is liver cirrhosis, where you see this bronze or gray skin discoloration that's often tied to your liver. So whether you go to a dermatologist or your general physician, they are usually looking for these signs to identify skin pigmentation, and it can be a clue to an underlying systemic disorder. Now, if they're not able to, if they don't see it and they miss it, it's up to you to point out that, hey, you have noticed this thing, this change in your skin, and have a discussion with them. Now, if you want to confirm what's going on with your body and what's going on with different parts, we have a skin detect test on our website. We are at ayuno.bio, where we look at thousands of proteins in your blood to really understand where you are in your health journey and how is that impacting your skin. So if you are curious about this, go check out the test at ayuno.bio or leave us a comment below and we will get back to you with any answers that you might want. It is useful to really get to the root cause of what is causing your skin discoloration and before you can try to solve for it. So let us know in the comments below and follow us for more information about skin discoloration and hyperpigmentation as we lead you into some treatment plans that can help you target some of these underlying conditions for you.